Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to hear a little bit about what the importance of fasting could be for certain practitioners or individuals looking to, not be so weighed down by food.
Like divine agreement, which is a breakdown of dimensions of consciousness, right? Consistent with, let's say, the Hindu chakra system. They have their own interpretations of what these dimensions are. And I have more consistent with that, to a point, but more based upon my own experience. So you have to go with your own experience, not your ego's experience, but what your given experience is. Not what your ego interprets it as, but what actually happens. So, mm-hmm. And so when we talk about accessing, because when you go to sleep, you're going through different planes of consciousness. And when you're waking up, you're coming back from different planes of consciousness into this physical dimension of your many planes of consciousnesses. So, for better and for worse. And so when we're hungry, we are at a plane of consciousness. When we're hungry, we're speedier, it seems. We're more intense when we're hungry, like desperate, urgent, mad, angry, hungry. And so the absence of energy, in terms of like food, holding off on food or eating certain types of foods can alter your state of consciousness, obviously. If you're on a liquid fast for 3 days, you'll be a different person from when you were on meat or heavier foods 3 days before, where you're more in the body, whereas not eating enables you to be less in the body and more in your, less in your physical body and more in your astral body. Or we can say etheric body, your finer body of energy, finer intelligence. And the longer you abstain, you can say the higher you get, actually, which after a point becomes dangerous. So, you need food after a while, and not everybody at the same level or same, let's say, distance. So, some people have been made to force to fast because of the situation for 20 days, and they survived that without food. I don't know what else they put in their mouths to act like they were eating food. They may have eaten their clothes, their ties, their suits, whatever, right? And then, you have the need to come back. So everyone has a point where they reach a critical level of abstinence or emptiness, physically speaking. You need water, you need air, we need certain things, otherwise we pass over, we die, we exhaust our resources and our powers and brain just shut off. So each is different, whereas we know that in the native cultures, fasting was very important as a sacred ritual for the people. And their understanding, which is ancient and wise, is that you go out on your vision quest alone and try to communicate with the animals. See if you can find what your tribe is in the animal kingdom. I'm not saying all traditions did this, but I know some did. So, once you have your contact with the animal, right, and they talk to you and they give you their teaching, then you're a member of their tribe, because then they have an animal who's a guide for you, and so you respect that, and that becomes part of your path. You go back to your tribe, telling them you are let us say, initiated into, introduced to, or in contact with the leaders of that particular animal species, and they talk to you. You knew what the elders were teaching you and sharing with you, and you knew you could depend upon them when you are out in the forest or on the land. So you have resonance with them, your connection was established, and so they feel you accomplish your mission. So fasting to get to that point where you have your vision is a prerequisite, or maybe don't come back because you have no vision, you have no use to to the tribe. Just keep going. Find somewhere else to be. See? Comment on that. So it figures three days, you start to really become sensitive after 3 days. Drinking water, of course. Not eating food. I mean, the natives probably cheated a little bit, maybe ate some leaves, the leaves that they knew, or berries that they knew would be healing for them, and so they may have had some understanding of the vegetation, what was safe to eat, if they had to eat. See? And so this is part of the intelligence of the body. Animals, when they're sick, fast, which is wise. In other words, they let the body clean out. So that without food, there are healing forces that are released. And so that's why people who are fasting for just a short while feel so great. Right? They sometimes feel like they're a couple of feet off the ground. They're high, right, on their own energy. Lack of gravitational food, gravity, weight. No material, less material. So your body eats itself, it burns up its own energy. And it's a beautiful process if you're doing it scientifically. And so often by the 7th day or 4th day, you're not ready to eat anymore. You feel so in the zone of eating light that you don't want to have to eat. And it's not insanity. I mean, it's a beautiful place. But then you have to be intelligent enough to, your body as you go further is becoming more depleted and more starved and burnt out. And so you need to be smart and bring yourself back to sanity and back down to earth to your body's grounding, which means you need to eat some food, put something in there so that you can become more normalized, because then you're having visions and dreams and maybe even hallucinations, because your energy is so subtle and so light that you're out of the body, and so you're sort of like in a land of imagined sort of reality, and your visions are real to you, but you want to use your visions to get back into the body so that you get back to your people and become more practical and functional, not just go completely out into la-la land, right? Which can happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
So for somebody looking to put that into practice, is it just a matter of kind of listening to one's body, or maybe giving it
finding books on fasting that incorporate medical knowledge and native knowledge as well, sure. And so you have a better understanding of what you're looking for and how far your body can go, and how far maybe you shouldn't go, depending on your health and your condition. So all of this is part of the intelligence, scientific fasting. Sure. We would authorize that. I'd recommend that. If you know doctors and they want to be there for you, fine. But the fasting is very beautiful, very powerful, and very useful. So I'm glad that Jesus talked about it as part of his practice. Fast on Fridays, right? Or whenever. I'm not sure I know all the rituals exactly, but yeah, the fasting played a part in it. And for the yogis, fasting is big. For the natives, fasting may still be big in certain tribes, right, that are interested in development and progression, right, and seeing your let's say your spirits. You want to be more in touch with your spirits, and you have to refine yourself. So there's purification and lightness. You have to know what you need for your lightness and find the balance in your lightness, and be in a situation where if you need help to come back from your spaced out sort of visionary state of non-eating and non-drinking. You want to keep it safe. You want to gain from your experience of being outside of the body in that way, so that you can live to benefit from it, and others to talk to others about it.